Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is July 23rd, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. Here we are this morning, and you can see, of course, the marine layer is intruded into some of the valleys there across the Bay Area, a lot of Northern California as well. But if you go off across some of the interior portions, or actually most of it, you can see there is some nice, glorious sunshine out there. We'll take a look at what is to come here over the next few days. Looks like we got thunderstorm chances developing for the Sierra Nevada, northern portions of California. We're going to see and watch how long this cool weather is going to hang out for much of the region. And we'll take a look at the extended forecast as always. So here we go, last 24 hours of lightning strike activity, and you can see we had some across some of southeast Oregon, portions of Idaho, and northeast Nevada, but nothing across the state of California. And if you want your own affordable home weather station, click on the link down below to save 10% off. It's got a lightning detection system with it. It's all solar powered, and it sets up pretty quickly as well. Once you open the package and you flip the switch and you put it out there and you plug in the console into your house, which is a small white console, it's up and running in about 5 minutes. Very fun weather station. I'm testing 2 of these at my house, so click on that link down below. Now, looking at the high resolution rapid refresh, let's start things off by looking at the smoke out there. Put this into motion as we go through the day today. The Orleans complex still producing some smoke, but this is overall a pretty good picture across the state of California here, especially in the end of July, because things can be much worse at this time of year. So we'll definitely take it. I know that's not a lot of consolation there to people that are right around some of these fires out there, but they're few and far between right now. So let's enjoy that while it lasts. And we are cooler than normal here across much of the region. So that's kind of a double bonus there as we go on in through the next few days. And here again is the Orleans complex. I'm going to refresh that and we'll click on that one more time, see if it's still growing out there. 18,855 acres officially. Percent contained only 9%, so it continues to still produce smoke. Now, we've got this thunderstorm potential here over the next few days. It's going to include a lot of places like Redding, Red Bluff, Mount Shasta, Alturas, Chester, Quincy, Truckee, California. And this is going to go on for the next few days, and I will show you some of that here in the weather models in a minute. But of course, just pay attention to the dangers that are associated with thunderstorms, especially the lightning, some gusty erratic winds, and new fire starts, of course, with those winds can really get rolling. And again, those lightning strikes could be kicking off some fires here over the next few days. So we also have the fire weather watch. This starts for tomorrow. This goes through 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Thunderstorm activity is the prime generator for this. And again, watch out for that activity. You can see there's Bridgeville right here, Hayfork, Weaverville, Trinity Center showed up here in the Eureka, California National Weather Service Fire Weather Watch. So here we go. Thunderstorm probability for Thursday. This is Sacramento National Weather Service. Here's Mount Shasta. Look at that, checking in 31%. Eureka, 30. Susanville, 33%. Reno, some of the Sierra Nevada here. So we do have this, and this is going to go for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe even on a little bit longer here. I'll show you that here in a moment. But this is today. There we go. They're paying attention. SPC, Storm Prediction Center, including southern Oregon and much of northern California, all the way down through the Sierra Nevada and portions of western Nevada. Here's day 2, some similar areas here, and day 3 yet again. So they are definitely paying attention to this thunderstorm regime setting up for much of northern California, but it's going to be excluding the Bay Area. I want to make that clear. This is going to be mainly across the higher terrain. So also, of course, the big story is here the 2-meter temperature anomaly. You can clearly see we got the big blue blob here across much of the western USA. That is, keeping things below normal all the way up to the Pacific Northwest, all the way down through California into some portions of the Baja Peninsula. As we go through the 6-day time period, you can kind of see it starting to relax a little bit here. Of course, this below normal stuff can't last forever. You can clearly see some of this warmer air trying to move towards the region. More on that here in a moment. But this is the reason why. So you can see the ridge is established across some of the Pacific Ocean, through the Gulf of Alaska there. We've got this trough hanging out. This upper level low is going to be with us. It's what's going to help fire off some of these thunderstorms here as we go on in through the end of this week and on in through this weekend. We have this general troughing here still off the west coast of North America. So I'll continue to put things into motion there, and you see the Gulf of Alaska trough starts to really get going. We start to establish this ridge across center portions of the USA. But still, some troughing is around. No major heat dome in the next 6 days or so is going to be setting up shop. So we have that going for us. We'll look at the extended forecast here in a moment. And if we look at the European model, I'll put this into motion, and here we go for the day today. You see those thunderstorms developing across some of the higher terrain, maybe one across Northern California today. But as we go through Thursday, look at that start to pick up a little bit more. You can see it including Northeast California, and again, some of the Siskiyous, Klamath Range Cascades, all the way down through the Sierra Nevada, and then we go on in through the day Friday. What does it bring? Well, rinse and repeat. We got the same stuff going on, higher terrain thunderstorm activity, and we go on in through Saturday, and you guessed it yet again, thunderstorm potential is with us. There we go, Sunday, one more day maybe. Well, let's check out Monday here as well, just for the heck of it. You can see we do wane some of this activity, but still some isolated showers around mainly Northern California. Now, if we look at the precipitation totals through the next 6 days, you can clearly see where these thunderstorms are going to be focused. Some areas getting up towards a half an inch, maybe isolated areas who get some of the stronger storms out there just happen to be underneath that. It will be isolated in some of these heavier amounts, but yeah, it's going to be kind of hit and miss on who gets what, but there are some heavier totals showing up in there. But you can see for Southern California, the deserts, the monsoon, we're not looking at a nice signal here over the next 6 days. Much of that activity just maybe clipping a little bit of eastern Arizona, but clearly not a strong monsoon season signal here as we go through the next 6 days. We'll take a little bit of a look at that here in the extended forecast in a moment as well. Now, looking at daily 2-meter max temperature, this includes a lot of the southwest USA. Here we go. Temperatures are suppressed here. This is Wednesday, July 23rd. We go through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Look at Saturday. I mean, we're keeping things pretty cool here across the San Joaquin, Sacramento Valley. Southern California remaining into the 70s, maybe lower 80s once you get away from the water desert areas. Of course, you'll warm up if you like the heat. You can get out there. But we go through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We warm things up a little bit next week, but still kind of a mixed bag. We're not looking at any super warm temperatures, any kind of big heat dome or heat wave across the region. So we got that going for us. And we go through August 1st, which is Friday, and we go through August 2nd. Still not too bad across the area. But if we take a look at the 2-meter temperature anomaly, this is a 7-day running total. And of course, this can't last forever. But you can see we're just balancing things out. Again, no big heat dome here in the next 7 days. Now let's take a little bit of a look here at the extended forecast. We got some big disagreement on what is going to come through the extended forecast, which is typical for any time of year really when you look at the weather models. We can see the upper level low hanging with us here as we go through the end of this week. Another trough establishes itself across the Pacific Northwest, kind of keeping the west coast under this trophy influence. Ridge starts to develop across some portions of the lower 48 center portions. Big trough gets reestablished here across the Gulf of Alaska, and you can see we do have a little bit of activity trying to pinwheel through the state there. And of course, no big ridge dominating our weather as we go towards the end of the month. We scroll out a little bit further though, and you can kind of see things start to get shifty and change up a little bit here as we go way off into the fantasy land there. I mean, look at that ridge would really jack our temperatures way up, but we're not going to worry about that too much because you notice if I go back here, this is still 10 days out, so we're not even going to get concerned about that ridge just yet. It's just purely a fantasy forecast, just kind of showing you the potential of what can happen at this time of year. If we look at the artificial intelligence, you'll see there's not much agreement here as we go through the extended forecast. So here we go off into the extended, pretty good agreement actually through about hour 168. Some of these little bit of systems here, these short waves moving through this Gulf of Alaska trough gets established, and then we scroll off into the extended forecast, and you can see that troughing holds on into the Gulf of Alaska. The ridge tries to build in, but in a much different setup here across much of the southwest. The axis is across some of the southwest USA, and we do start to warm up a bit there, but again, way too far off in the forecast to get too concerned with those details just yet. You can also see a tropical system rolling around out across the Pacific Ocean here, harmlessly staying off to our south and west. Now, 6 to 10 day, check it out, much of the country above normal, but California, we got that below normal signal still staying with us here as we go through the end of the month. Thumbs up for that. And 6 to 10 day, you can kind of see this near normal, some below normal across Nevada, so not a big strong monsoon season signal, not yet anyway, as we go through August 1st. And the 8 to 14 day also showing something similar here as well, below normal signal across California, and kind of a mixed bag here, no strong monsoon season signal through the first week of August as of now. Now, I'm updating this here on a daily basis, but yes, over the last 2 months, the coastal areas, well, of course, where a lot of people live, of the Bay Area, Southern California, has been below normal, especially some of the Bay Area here. But once you get across the interior portions, you can imagine, even though we've been talking about this cool pattern for the summer so far, the state of California is still above normal if you average everything out. Once you get away from the interior areas, it has been quite warm across a lot of the region. But again, coastal areas is where a lot of people live, and you can see that we have been below normal over the last 2 months since May 24th. Now, taking a look here, you can see we were up over 33,600 subscribers. So, yeah, glad to see it. Thanks for everybody who signs up on a daily basis and comes back to watch on a daily basis, I should say, and everybody who has signed up. And if you want to help support the channel, you can click on the join button down below. And what else? Yeah, I guess we will do this all again tomorrow. We'll check things out, including the extended forecast, and I will talk to you guys then.